to say, and that is we totally understand there are so many different things that you can be doing with your time. So the fact that you guys decided to come on out and hear what we have to say, of course, it makes us so very happy. So again, thank each and every one of you for being here. Now, as you can see, I am super excited. I'm hyped up and all that good stuff. Why? Because this is our family reunion. Every month, we get a chance to spend 5 phenomenal days with each other, learning, growing, experiencing new things. And so it is so very exciting for me to see all of your familiar faces. And I know we're going to see some new faces as well of people who found value in what we're bringing today. So of course, you guys are going to see that I'm very excited. And as the days go on, this does not dwindle at all. Okay. I come in like this every day because this is a wonderful, wonderful place to be. And speaking of wonderful places to be, hello, my VIPs. How are you guys? It's so very good to see you. As you come on in, you should know the routine by now. Type your name and where you are from in the chat box. That way I have the opportunity to tell everybody who is a VIP on this side with us right now. And if you have the opportunity, please turn on your cameras. One of the best parts about us being on a Zoom call like this or on the VIP side is that we get a chance to see all your beautiful faces, see all those wonderful smiles. Okay, everyone, I'm going to go ahead and start saying hello to you. Of course, I see my beautiful friend. Her name is Midge Woods. Hi, Midge. I'm so very glad that you're able to make it. Thank you so very much for being here with us this evening. I see we also have Mr. Leonard Long coming on in from La Quinta, California. Hello, sir. Thank you so much for being here. It is always good to see you. Of course, there is the beautiful Miss Rita Brouchard. Hello, Queen. How are you? She is coming on in from sunny San Diego, California. I see my wonderful friend Nathan Hansberger's here. Hi, Nathan. How are you? Nathan is coming on in from Las Vegas, Nevada. It is always good to see you, sir. There is the beautiful Miss Janine. Hello, Janine. Namaste, beautiful. It is always good to see you. Mwah. We're trying to stay warm in this cold Colorado, right? Yes, ma'am. It's freezing out here. Thank you so much for being here with us this evening. It is always good to see that smile. I see the beautiful Miss Tammy Gully is here with us. Hello, my queen. How are you? It is always good to see you, Tammy. Thank you so very much for being here with us. Of course, there is the beautiful Miss Janelle Appling is here. Hello, Janelle. How are you? She's out there surviving, right? The Colorado cold weather with us. It is so very good to see you. I see we also have the lovely Miss Carla Arrigo. Hi, Carla. How are you, sweetheart? It is always good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. It is always good to see that face. Oh, also, before I forget, you guys, we got some goodies planned for you. We weren't just going to come into this month of November and not have something special planned. So if you guys get here on time, and when I mean by on time, you got the next 15 minutes. Hi, Matthew. How are you, birthday twin? Thank you so much for being here. Matthew Ramos is in the house. He says, yo, yo, yo. It's good to see you, sir. Thank you so much for being here. But like I was saying, we have some wonderful things going on for you guys. So if you are here, that's a wonderful answer. I love it. If you are here on time, which means by 15 minutes after the hour, and you guys stay to the end, we are going to have a phenomenal giveaway. So you guys pay attention because there is going to be some questions and I'm going to let our educator go into the details on that. But I want to let you guys know that we have some wonderful stuff planned for you. I see you, the beautiful Miss Jacqueline Briggs. Hi, Queen. It's always good to see you. There's that smile. Mwah. Thank you so much for being here. I also see Mr. Steve Payne is here with us today. Hi, Steve. How are you? Thank you so much for being here. Of course, there is the lovely Miss Demetrius Turner. I can never forget you, Queen. Thank you so much for being here. As you see, the family Showing up. Okay, you guys, we are at the top of the hour, so we're going to go ahead and get this party started. Again, thank you all so very much for attending our November edition of the ILCA 5-Day Challenge. Again, my name is your Queen Connectress, Miss Marnita Casa, and I am your humble hostess for today. Now, it is my honor to introduce you all to a man that for over 25 years dominated the direct sales industry. His cryptocurrency education is used by companies and universities worldwide. For over 8 years, he's dedicated his life to learning about cryptocurrency and blockchain technology, but he didn't just stop there. He decided to go out, share his information with the masses, and this was done by putting on fun and exciting Bitcoin boot camps nationwide at no cost. He has built thriving communities and wonderful platforms like you see before you now. So without further ado, it is my honor to introduce you all to Mr. Brandon Ivey.
All right, all right, all right. Thank you for that introduction, Miss Casa. And as always, doing an excellent job being our hostess and welcoming everybody here for another month of our 5-day challenge. And we've been doing this since 2022, January, when we launched ILCA for the very first time. And some of you have been here from that beginning, like Jacqueline Briggs, Shauna Ross. So I want to thank you guys for taking time out of your schedule for plugging in. Education is key. Education is everything. Now, I'm on a short schedule for tonight since we're doing this on Tuesday night. We have, and this week the theme is still the MoveQuest community. And the theme this week is security, but we have a very, very important update call at the top of the hour with the creator of the MoveQuest project, Miss Lynette Artin. So I want you guys to make sure that you're there to plug into that, and there'll probably be 400, 500 people there. But let me tell you the people that's really going to be gaining the most. It's you guys here. You know, we're streaming live on our YouTube channel as well. So I want to welcome everybody from the YouTube channel. We're gonna have some fun this week, as Miss Casa stated. We're gonna have some giveaways, some goodies. So what that means is, at the end of this lesson, I'm gonna give you guys a question, and you're gonna have to answer this question to be able to go into the giveaway wheel. Remember when I used to do the old Get Fit presentations, spinning the wheel? We're gonna do that tomorrow night. But to be on the wheel, you've got to answer the question correctly. So at the end, Ms. Casa will give you guys an email address on where you're going to email the answer. I'm going to post the question here in the chat box and also in our ILCA Telegram group and in our Ivy League Coaching Academy Facebook group. I'm going to post a question there, and it's going to be an A, B, C, D, so it's going to be easy for you to, well, if you pay attention, it should be easy to answer. But just answer that question in the email, and those people that do will be the ones that will be in the spin the wheel tomorrow night. So let me jump on into it, because I know this is a very, very important lesson, and it's the backbone of the entire crypto industry, the technology that makes it possible. The idea of having digital currency is not a new idea. This is an idea that has been around since money, or since the computer was even created. But there was no technology to make it possible. There's a lesson I have in our crypto courses in Web 3.0 that covers the difference between Web 1.0, Web 2.0, and Web 3.0. This technology is bringing to the future the internet in Web 3.0, where it doesn't matter if you're here tonight. It doesn't matter if you want to learn this. It doesn't matter if you don't even believe this is happening. I learned something in 2017 that changed my life about this technology. That blockchain technology will disrupt every single industry on the planet today. Whether you like it or not, believe it or not, trust it or not, your opinion of it is irrelevant. And we just had a very historic presidential election where we have a president-elect who has claimed to become the very first crypto president. As a result, crypto has reached an all-time high. Bitcoin is touching on that $100,000 a coin level. Just wait till those of you in my inner circle, which is all of you guys on Zoom right now, wait till our call tomorrow after the MoveQuest presentation, where I'm gonna really blow your mind about some opportunity, some numbers here for those that have long-term thinking. So if you want to be a part of that, you got to be in the inner circle because I'm not sharing that publicly. But this is something that we have to learn about. Either we're going to learn about it voluntarily or it will be forced upon us. You decide. So I want to thank and congratulate you guys that are here to learn. And if you've seen this lesson before, I still guarantee you're going to see something new. So the technology we're talking about is the blockchain. And you've heard that over and over and over before. And you might have first time heard about it joining MoveQuest because you hear we're on the Avalanche blockchain. And I have so many people say, wait a minute, is that like the Bitcoin? I said, no. He said, there's more than one blockchain? I said, really? But new people don't know this. There's hundreds of them. You know, every coin has a blockchain. There's a difference between a coin and a token. Not every token has a blockchain. Some people said, Brandon, what about the MoveQuest blockchain? There is no MoveQuest blockchain. MoveQuest is a token that is riding on other blockchains, like Binance was the first, or a kite chain, and now AVAX, and there's going to be many more. I have people say, I don't understand why you're doing multiple different blockchains. It doesn't make sense. That's because you're not educated on what this is. I can't just take the 10 freeway to Vegas from Los Angeles. I have to get off the 10 and take the 15 north. I can't, if I want to go to, the 10 runs all the way to Jacksonville from California. But if I want to all of a sudden head north to go to Philly and everything, I got to get on the I-95. You got to change. So different blockchains offer different opportunities and different things, which is what MoveQuest is positioned to do. Take advantage of all of them. So let me get into this. What is the blockchain? Well, a blockchain is a tamper-proof, encrypted database secured by cryptography, the study of encryption, that acts as an accounting ledger keeping track of digital assets. Instead of being maintained by a single server like traditional databases, blockchains are decentralized and maintained by a distributed network of computers around the world. I think I'm going to do this for the inner circle because we're going to cover, we just read an article about the difference between decentralization, centralization, and traditional finance, or DeFi, CeFi, and TradeFi. So we're talking about what the blockchain is bringing is DeFi, decentralized, maintained by a distributed network of computers around the world. This database tracks every Bitcoin in the network and each transaction since the very first Bitcoin. You can think of Bitcoin as an accounting system. Through the blockchain, it is a way of recording transactions and value digitally in an open and distributed self-clearing ledger. So if this is your first time hearing that, there's some things you might want to write down, but it's something you already do. When you go to the store and you buy something, they hand you a receipt. That receipt is proof and verification and a record of what you just purchased. Now, who has this receipt? You do, and so does the person who bought from, the merchant. But that's it. If you want to take that item back to the store, you need to have your receipt with you because it is the proof that you purchased it. But what if you lost the receipt? You no longer have the proof. The blockchain is this. It's a receipt. Except this is a receipt that can never be lost. It's a receipt that can never be changed. It's a receipt that can never be manipulated. It's a receipt that doesn't care about politics, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, or you like Harris, or you like Biden, or you like Trump. It doesn't care about any of that. All it cares about is math. That's trust. The blockchain is trust, and everybody has access to it, not just the rich, not just the connected, not just those with a college education, not those who were born in a certain country, but everybody. Beginners to cryptocurrency sometimes hear the word blockchain and think that the term blockchain is synonymous with Bitcoin. My dad made that mistake. My dad believed that Bitcoin blockchain is the same thing. No. This would be like saying that smartphone technology and Apple have the same meaning. The relationship between Bitcoin and blockchain is like the relationship between Facebook and the internet. Bitcoin is based on blockchain technology and could not exist without the internet. However, oh, I lost my place. Blockchain technology preceded Bitcoin, and blockchain technology could exist without Bitcoin. Just like Facebook is on the internet, Bitcoin is on the blockchain. Facebook cannot work without the internet. Bitcoin couldn't work without its blockchain. I shut Wi-Fi off for 30 seconds in my house, and my youngest son is flipping out. He doesn't know how to act. He doesn't know how the world would spin without having access to the internet. And I just an hour ago, he was even saying to me, because he saw me using ChatGPT, looking some stuff up, and he was like, well, what would you do if you didn't have ChatGPT? I said, whatever I was doing before ChatGPT was here. I said, we survive without the internet. We survive without the computer. We survive without this technology. My generation and older, we know what to do. But his generation, he was born in 2007. This is all they know. And the blockchain is taking it to the next step. Let's get a visual image in our minds. So picture this. There is a digital block that's created on the internet. Inside that block is data. For cryptocurrencies, text data of a list of transactions is inside of each block. For NFTs, text data detailing ownership of digital assets is inside of each block. Do you know what our miners are? The MoveQuest miners. See, when you hear the term miners or mining, that can mean many different things. That they're all doing the same thing, but they can be represented differently. You can have a physical miner, like an ASIC miner that you actually purchase and you can program. You can use powerful computers that are physical. But the MoveQuest miners are not physical. They're digital. So they fall more in the realm, as Mr. Ramos just said and Judy just said, an NFT, which means, don't you think if you're a part of the MoveQuest community, you might need to know what are NFTs? Here's a good thing is I actually have a course on NFTs. So you have 15 videos that go over and cover in detail what are NFTs, because that is what you purchased. You purchased an NFT. I'm old school. If I'm going to do something, I need to know what it is. If I'm going to spend my money on something, I need to know what it is. If I'm going to go to the car dealership and buy a car, I need to know what the car is. If you're going to buy a miner from MoveQuest, you need to know what an NFT is. Or you're just buying things blindly and you don't know how they work. So NFTs are on the blockchain. Every time a new block is created, it is linked or chained back to the previous block. So you have a series of blocks full of data, all chained together to each other. And by the way, I got to say this. If you are a part of MoveQuest and you've got a large organization, why don't you have your entire organization listening to the 5-day challenge right now? I'm just putting that out there. You guys should be in all of the communities telling them 5-day challenge is going on right now. Another way to visualize it is like this. Picture each block as a page in a book. The data inside each block are the words on the page, and the chain is the book's spine that holds all the pages together. There are various different cryptocurrencies, each with its own blockchain. So not every cryptocurrency is the same. Not every blockchain does the same thing. For the blockchains of cryptocurrencies, the data inside each block is a detailed record of transactions involving that specific cryptocurrency. Basically, each block is one page in a digital ledger. Okay, I'm going to ask you guys a series of questions. The Binance blockchain, what token, because there's a specific cryptocurrency token, represents the Binance blockchain? What token represents the Bitcoin blockchain? What token represents the Ethereum blockchain? What token represents the Solana blockchain? What token represents the Avalanche blockchain? You started to get the picture? How are new blocks added to the chain? In order to add a new block to a chain, a complex math equation must be solved. For Bitcoin's blockchain, basically somebody needs to guess a number between 1 and 4 billion in order to add a block to the blockchain. This requires a vast amount of computing power as well as some time, roughly 10 minutes per block on Bitcoin's blockchain. The individual or group who guesses the correct number creates the new block and is awarded 6.25 Bitcoin. Oh, I got to change that. It is now 3.125 Bitcoin. This process is called mining. There's that term, mining. But really, it should be called something like creating a new block by guessing the correct number. Now, I want to give you guys what differentiates between mining Bitcoin and mining MQT, since I use that comparison in the presentations. Bitcoin is a reward for the miners building the Bitcoin blockchain. MoveQuest, on the other hand, is not a coin. It's a token. It is not building its own blockchain. It is riding on the Avalanche blockchain. So that blockchain's already there doing its thing. What MQT is doing, it is rewarding you and validating a certain job. And that job is translating the data of your physical activity into a digital hash, and your reward is the crypto token MQT, powered not by electricity, but by your physical activity. So it's good that you know what that difference is. So if MoveQuest is your very first way into crypto, obviously you need to know what Bitcoin is and how that works, and what MoveQuest is and how that works. You don't necessarily need to understand everything else yet, but you got to know those two. The fact that it is so difficult to add a new block makes it so that no one organization can ever add too many blocks in a row. It would be like the same person winning the lottery over and over again. The fact that blocks are so difficult to create is also the reason why they are so tamper-proof and immutable. So now we know what a blockchain is, how blocks are created, and what each block is filled with: a digital ledger of transactions. That is as far as Bitcoin is concerned. When it comes to the others, like Ethereum, it's recording more than just a ledger of transactions. It is also recording smart contracts, NFTs. If you look at Snow Trace, even on the Avalanche side, not only is it recording transactions, but it's also recording every time you submit and you claim, every time you're doing anything with the MoveQuest token itself and any other token on its blockchain. Each blockchain has a different function. To understand the significance of, but for this training, this lesson is actually focused on how the Bitcoin one works, but I will overlap so you understand how the MoveQuest is working too. So to understand the significance of blockchain technology, we must go back in time and look at the ledgers and their function. A ledger is simply a documented record of transactions. A blockchain is a ledger. Therefore, a blockchain is a documented record of transactions. You might want to put that to memory. A blockchain is a documented record of transactions, just like your bank statement. If you have mobile banking, you can pull up your app and you can say, all right, what is my statement for the month of October and September and July? What are you looking at? You're looking at a documented record of every transaction you made on that account. That's what the blockchain is. Since the dawn of civilization, people have been trading things with one another. Humanity wouldn't exist if it weren't for the fact that humans trade with one another. Even before the invention of currency, tribes and early civilizations would often keep a record of who traded what with who. Dating as far back as 5000 BC in Mesopotamia, people used clay tablets as primitive ledgers to record transactions of crops and animals. But was it really primitive? I mean, it's 5,000 years later, and we still can see those transactions. I think that's far more sophisticated than calling that primitive caveman drawings. Because on a clay tablet, you can't erase the transaction. You can't mark over the transaction. You can't manipulate the transaction. Once it's done and it's sealed there forever. That's exactly what the blockchain does. Once that transaction is done, it is sealed. You can't do anything with it. Now, if you go way back in the day, this is where there was a problem. Even in the days of the Bible, you talk about the 12 disciples and what was their trade? You had tax collectors and whatnot. Who are the richest people in the land? If you are not part of the royal family and court, landowners and tax collectors, port harbor. So if you wanted to go into a city and sell goods and services, and you go into the port authority, you have to declare what you're bringing in to sell. So they're taking a list of everything you have, how much it all weighs, and then when you sell and you're ready to leave, then you got to go back to them and say, this is what I have left. So you're letting them know how much you sold, and you have to pay a tax for that. But what if the harbor master doesn't like you? What if you messed with the harbor master's daughter while he was drinking at the pub the night before? Or his wife? That's where the whole bribery industry came in. And that became part of doing business so that they got a cut on the side. That's why they were the richest people in the land. And if they didn't like you, he could just erase whatever was down there and put another thing. Who are you going to run to for recourse? See, it's not like today. Back in the day, ledgers such as these would have to be used to keep track of debts owed, so it was important that they were kept in a safe place to avoid tampering or damage. Ledgers were kept safe in guarded temples and palaces that became the seeds of the first bank. If you love Game of Thrones, I got to use that one. Who has the real power? Is it whoever's sitting on the throne? No. It was one of the lessons that Tyrion was teaching his daughter. No, we don't have the power. The Iron Bank does. And she didn't understand that fact. She thinks, oh, we live on Casterly Rock and we got all the gold. No, 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 no. He said that gold ran out two generations ago. We're in debt. So the wealthiest family in Game of Thrones was actually completely broke and in debt. Who were they in debt to? The Iron Bank that was floating them. The United States government right now has been operating for the last 40, 50 years in debt since 1971. We're in debt, which is why, and those of you in the inner circle in our crypto talks, you hear me talk about who I believe is the biggest threat to our way of life. It's not whoever the president is. It's BRICS. It's the rest of the world deciding, yeah, thank you for what you did for us in the World War II, but it's now almost 80 years removed. We don't need you anymore. And they stop buying our debt. You think inflation's high now? You haven't experienced real inflation yet. So this is why education is very, very important. But hold on, I gotta let me stay on track. I can't get sidetracked here. So later, banks took over the role of calculating and maintaining ledgers. They kept track of transactions as well as debts owed and kept these records or ledgers safe. Except at this point, people were using currency and no longer bartering with crops, animals, and other goods. You guys know bartering, right? That's how I got my first lesson in finances from my grandfather. He'd take me down every week. We go down to the Compton swap meet. He never paid full price for nothing. He haggled like there was no man's business. I even saw him do it in the grocery store where they have fixed prices because the people that worked in the grocery store all came from the same neighborhood, so they knew. He lived on credit too. If your car needed to be worked on, you didn't take it to the shop. Somebody in the neighborhood fixed it. You needed roof work. Somebody in the neighborhood did that. My grandmother grew vegetables in her backyard, and the neighborhood came to get it. That was how it was back then. Modern banking. For centuries, people have trusted banks to keep and maintain ledgers or records. People agree with the information in a bank's ledgers and trust that that information is safe from tampering or damage. In fact, just on the sidetrack, speaking of my grandmother comes from Shreveport, Louisiana, and she grew up during the Great Depression. But because when the Great Depression happened, what she used to say was, we didn't know that there was a Great Depression. We were always poor. But the funniest thing happened. They weren't allowed to go shopping in town, to go shopping at the white stores and all that stuff. They had to be self-sufficient and grew their own food on their farms. And after the Great Depression, the people from the city used to come to their farms to get some food. She said it was the damnedest thing, how she used to say it. And I just learned, I hadn't shared this with Marnita yet, but I just learned the other day, my grandmother's sister and Marnita's grandmother, another sister, 6 years old, they had walked miles to some other, because at that time everything was farmed out, different farms, to go visit one of their other sisters. I was like, at 6? Unaccompanied? So yeah, that's how things were done back then. They were different time. All right. For centuries, people have trusted banks to keep and maintain ledgers or records where people agree with the information in the bank's ledgers and trust that that information is safe from tampering or damage. Because everyone agrees with the information in a bank's records, banks are often used as an intermediary for transactions between two parties. When you swipe your debit card at the grocery store and the POS point of sale terminal. That's another word you need to know. I remember Samantha had asked in our Inner Circle Crypto talk about crypto lingo, and we have a lesson on that. You got to understand crypto lingo. Well, POS means point of sale. Every time you go to the store and you pull out your debit card, that is a point of sale terminal. So the point of sale terminal states that the transaction has gone through. The grocery store trusts that you've paid. The grocery store trusts your bank's records. Both parties involved in a transaction trust that the records of the bank are accurate. If the bank says the transfer has successfully been completed, then the buyer and the seller can both trust and agree that the money has in fact gone through. What are the pros and cons of using banks and their ledgers? Well, banks add a level of trust and security to transactions, and that is what we're all familiar with. But you can't come into crypto with that same mentality that you're trusting somebody else to handle the security of your crypto. That's the mistake people make because that's all we know. Remember, the blockchain is bringing a new financial system where the power is in your hands. Frankly, not everybody's qualified to be in charge of their own money, but now you have that opportunity that you are. So because of that, people don't think, oh, wait a minute, if I'm in charge, I better make sure I'm secure, just like your house. You lock up your house, you got your home alarm system, you got everything, you don't leave your doors unlocked. You got to do the same thing with your money. But banks brought a level of trust, and we pay for that trust because the bank, you think they're making money off of your money? I mean, you can't, they charge you for the privilege of holding your money. They charge you fees every month to continue to hold it. They charge you a fee when you want to purchase something. They charge you a fee when you want to withdraw money out. They charge you a fee when you add money to it. And then they take your money, 90% of it legally. They could take 90% of your money, go out there and invest your money. And the profit they make, they don't share it with you. They keep for themselves. And we're paying them to do that. Highway robbery, but most people don't get it or understand. So the issue is for centuries, we have been trusting banks to keep records or ledgers of who owns and owes what. But at the same time, we've been sacrificing some of our privacy, independence, and percentages of our wealth in fees. But what if there was a better way? What if there was some form of modern technology that could help us to get the best of both worlds? What if we could have security, trust, while at the same time also have a financial privacy and autonomy? We would need a secure ledger that everyone could trust and agree on, and that wasn't able to be controlled, interfered with, or manipulated by any person or institution. Enter blockchain technology. So how are blockchains different from the banks? Well, blockchains are distributed and publicly accessible. A blockchain is a digital ledger, but it is a ledger that everybody has access to, yet nobody can tamper with or control. Historically, ledgers and records have been centralized, locked up, and stored by one institution that has access and control. For cryptocurrencies, the entire ledger is out in the open and accessible to everybody. In Crypto Talk, what do? Every time I look at the MQT chart, you see me investigating. I look to see, okay, what is this wallet doing? What crypto's in that wallet? You know, you can look at everything. The only thing I don't know is who owns the wallet. Blockchains are anonymous. There you go. When you look at the Bitcoin blockchain, you will notice that you don't see the names, email addresses, or any information about the sender and receiver. All you see are transactions or transaction hashes and wallet addresses. It is almost impossible to determine someone's identity based on these strings of random letters and numbers. This is the paradox of Bitcoin. Everybody can see all of the transactions, but nobody can see who is doing the transactions unless you give them that information. How was $500,000 stolen from the MoveQuest community? Because inadvertently, members gave that information up unknowingly, unwittingly, by people pretending to either be somebody else, pretending to help, and trying to get you to gain their trust to do something that you shouldn't do. Blockchains are decentralized. For almost every major cryptocurrency, nobody owns or controls the ledger, the blockchain. So when I hear people screaming about fees, Lynette changed the fees. Well, she can change the fees on submissions and claims, but she cannot change the avalanche fees. And I think tonight she's going to talk a little bit about why I asked her to break down, because I think most of the MoveQuest community still hasn't realized that the fees have been adjusted. They were at where the token was between $50 to $100 range. Now it's between the $0 to $50 range. So I think one Lenny is like 19 cents. And if nobody wants to submit, that's fine with me, because I just did a 10-day claim today off of 8 Omegas, almost maximized every day, and I received more than 14 MQT. Do you know what it was before? It was about 10 to 11 a day, every 10 days. Now it's 14. I'm cool with that. The last time when MQT was going on its way up and it was at the $10 range, you know, we were receiving like 10 to 15 MQT a day. So it's a little different when you're only getting 1 to 2, but now this looks like we're getting almost 2 MQT a day and rising. So I don't have a problem with somebody that does not want to submit. That's on them. But the fees are now down, so it is profitable. Even if you have a Lenny to submit every day and claim, it is profitable. Having a decentralized ledger plus the inherent security of a blockchain eliminates the need for an institution, bank, or government to be the middleman. Having a transparent distributed ledger means that cryptocurrency is open to everybody on the planet. An entire 31% of adults in the world do not have access to a bank account. Think about that. If you don't have access to a bank account, you don't have access to wealth. But they do have access to the internet connection. And if you have access to the internet connection, then you can access cryptocurrencies. We'll be talking about cryptocurrencies tomorrow night. Blockchain blocks require majority agreement to be valid, which means it is distributed. It is as an organization. It's not just one person giving the orders. What makes a blockchain so secure is the fact that it is distributed. There are multiple live versions of each blockchain. If somebody is able to tamper with even one block on his live version of the blockchain, then everyone else will instantly see that it doesn't match up with the other live versions, and it will be discarded. As long as more than 50% of the live blockchain versions or nodes agree on something, the versions that are different are identified as false and ignored. And this all happens very, very quickly. Blockchain blocks are essentially immutable. Every 10 minutes, a new block is created on the Bitcoin blockchain. This block is filled with data of recent Bitcoin transactions. The data in the block shows a list of wallet addresses that have sent Bitcoin to other wallet addresses, as well as the amount of Bitcoin sent. Once the block has been mined and the data is written inside, the block is closed and becomes added to the end of the blockchain. At that point, it is almost impossible to edit, modify, or remove. It's like writing in wet cement like the Mesopotamians did 5,000 years ago. And once the cement hardens, the information written will be there forever. The block is basically immutable. It's like, I explained this to my dad too. I store nothing on my computer hard drives. I have external drives for everything. So I have one external drive. When this one fills up, I unplug it and I plug another one in. When this one fills up, I unplug it and I plug another one in. That is a chain. That's the blockchain. So when a blockchain fills up, it closes, and every time it closes, 3.125 Bitcoin is rewarded to the miners. Is it possible to hack the blockchain? That's why I said nearly impossible, because technically it is. If one individual or organization were able to gain control of 51% of the computing power of a blockchain, then they would be able to double spend their coins. That means they could spend their coins, then delete that transaction and spend the coins again. To mount a successful 51% attack on a large cryptocurrency such as Bitcoin will require an astronomical amount of computing power, costing billions or tens of billions of dollars. There are estimated to be over 1 million Bitcoin miners in the world today. Somebody would need to generate the computing power of over 1 million other miners to be able to temporarily tamper with the creation of the current Bitcoin block. That's just temporarily tamper. And one block releases 3.125 Bitcoin. At today's Bitcoin rate, that's less than $300,000. There's only one person in the world right now, in my opinion, that has the resources and would be crazy enough just to prove a point like he did when he bought Twitter to do it, and that's Elon Musk. But I don't even think he would be willing to spend billions of dollars just to prove a point. Wait, well. Let me take that back. A man that's worth 250 billion, what's 2 to 3 billion to him? But I seriously doubt he would do something like that just to prove a point. But that just goes to show it's nearly impossible. It's not going to happen. Other uses of blockchain technology. Because blockchain technology is by nature secure, anonymous, immutable, and decentralized, is being eyed for other applications beyond only cryptocurrency. Ooh, using a blockchain to cast votes in an election. What did we just have? Whether people want to believe it or not, even the experts can show that our American election process is the most secure election in the world. Yet, half the country will believe that our elections are not fair or being stolen or some kind of way. Facts don't matter if you believe something. You can give that person as much facts as they want and they won't change what they believe. But there is a way to solve that problem. Put voting on the blockchain. You can't cheat the blockchain. Illegals won't be able to vote. Your dead dog and cat won't be able to vote. You won't be able to go to multiple districts with different names trying to vote. It is completely pure. But neither political party will want that for their own reasons. You know, if you have your politician, you say, hey, why don't we put voting on the blockchain? And they say no to you, you should be looking at them with a side eye. There's a reason why they won't. Eventually it will, but it will be the last thing. You know, I said blockchain technology will disrupt every industry. When it comes to voting, that's going to be the last thing that's going to impact. Too much riding on that. People like it the way it is. Using a blockchain to keep track of medical data. I mean, I wish I had more time tonight to really go into these, but I don't. But that's revolutionary. Using a blockchain to keep track of the supply chain. That is also revolutionary. I mean, each one of these I've already written a whole course on, 15 separate lessons on the medical side, supply chain. Using a blockchain to store authentic pieces of digital art, NFTs, MQT miners. Using a blockchain to store personal identification information. I mean, I was heartbroken to hearing about when the last hurricane was coming in and FEMA was telling people in the real danger zones that didn't want to evacuate, make sure to use permanent erase marker to put, you know, your blood type on part of your body or put your name or something like that. But imagine all of your personal identity on the blockchain. Another day, I'll tell you the story of my mom losing her passport while she was in France. Using a blockchain to store important deeds, such as for land or a home. This is also huge. This will be very big generationally too. When you have families fighting over property or fighting over land or whatever, the blockchain settles all that very quickly. There's no debating that. As a disclaimer, this information is intended for educational and training purposes only, and it should not be construed as investment advice. As with all financial decisions, you should contact your licensed financial advisor before investing in any financial instrument. I did the short version of that lesson. I could do that lesson in 4 hours, really, to get into it. So you guys got the short version, but I'm going to ask you, did you learn anything from that? Did it make sense? Did it open your eyes to understanding? I get that a little bit more. Because that's the point, especially based on everything that we're doing today. So I've got a homework assignment for you guys. We're going to be giving away some goodies. And let me get the question. Okay, I'm going to tell you what the question is and what the choice of answers that you can choose. And I'll post it in here. So the question is going to be, and do not, let me repeat this. Do not, Judy from Toronto, because I know you'd be the first. Do not type the answer in the chat box. The question is, what is a blockchain? Now, I'm not going to ask you to write me out a paragraph. I'm going to give you 4 choices. Is it A, a type of social media platform? B, a digital ledger that records transactions? C, a programming language? Or D, a type of internet browser? So let me post that in the chat box. And you want to take those questions, okay, and put your answer. You're going to email. Hold on, let me post the email address. You're going to email that answer to there. Okay, to that email address, ilca5day@gmail.com. Miss Casa, I can't do it. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Because I know those in the YouTube channel, we're opening it up for you as well, for you to participate. So we're not just for the inner circle. We're gonna let those of you guys participate also. Let me pull up my channel. Pull you guys up there as well. For you to okay, live chat paste. All right, there's the question. in the YouTube, and the email address ILCA 5day@gmail.com. You've got 24 hours. Tomorrow night, we will be spinning the wheel. Now, there is nothing happening tomorrow night, meaning MoveQuest or anything. It's Wednesday. So I will be doing the lesson longer than I did tonight. I'll be taking my time. Tomorrow night, we're going to be covering what is cryptocurrency. Now that you know what the blockchain is, what is cryptocurrency? So with that, and then we'll have more drawing later on this week as well. I'll have some questions set up for that as also. But everybody can participate. I know you guys like free stuff, right? So we're going to be doing that. So again, I hope you guys learned something new. As always, that's the point. I surely wish, I mean, I'm giving away my time for free that we did have 5,000 people from the MoveQuest community here. Because in 5 minutes, well, I'm going to, as soon as I log off here, I'm going to log on there. There's going to be 400, 500 people wanting to hear Lynette pull a magic hat out of her ass to make the price of MQT go up and not understand what the hell's going on. And they're the perfect ones that's going to get their crypto stolen in the first place and won't invest their time in education. So I pat you guys on the back for doing so. So we will see you all tomorrow night, same time. We will go a little longer though. Same time tomorrow night. What is cryptocurrency? And it's still going to have it tied to what MoveQuest is, because people don't even know what is MQT. How does that work? The next night, we will be talking about the wallets and security and all that good stuff. So tonight was night one. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Miss Casa, for being our hostess. And tomorrow night, we're also going to open it up for Q&A. So just a recap real quick, because tomorrow we got a lot of things happening. Crypto Talk tomorrow morning. Followed by that, Marnita's doing the MoveQuest presentation. Followed by that is a special Inner Circle MoveQuest strategy call that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be sharing some information about people want to know when's a good time to buy, sell, hold. What's the strategy? I should have sold when it was at $60 and $70 and I didn't. Did I miss out? You know, we're going to talk about all of that tomorrow. And what we do in the inner circle stays in the inner circle. It is not public. It is not. If people from the MoveQuest community want that information from me, they got to join the inner circle. That's also a security measure. All right, everybody. With that, take care. See you guys in 2 minutes. I'm about to hop on the MoveQuest update call, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Take care. Bye-bye.